The train to confidence. Rohit grew up in a small town where English was only found in textbooks. Teachers taught grammar, students memorized answers, but no one spoke it. So when he got a job offer in a big city, he felt excited and terrified. He knew English would be everywhere, meetings, messages, conversations, but he had barely spoken a sentence aloud in his life. On his first day, his manager asked him to introduce himself. Rohit stood up and tried to speak. Words came slowly, unsure. My name is Rohit. I am happy to join. People smiled politely. His manager thanked him, but Rohit could feel his cheeks burning. He sat down, wishing he could vanish. At lunch, when others chatted in English about work and movies, he quietly ate his food, pretending to listen. Inside, he repeated sentences he wished he could say. I liked that movie. I can help with this project. But the words stopped at his throat. After work, he walked to the railway station to head home. The train was crowded, noisy, and full of strangers. He found a seat by the window. A young man sat beside him, reading a novel in English. The pages looked smooth and familiar to him, but not to Rohit. He tried reading the title softly. The man looked up. You like English books? He asked gently. Rohit hesitated. I want, but difficult to understand. The young man smiled. I used to feel the same, but I started small. Pages, then chapters. They talked. The man's name was Yusuf. He rode this train daily and read English books to practice. When he learned that Rohit wanted to learn too, he made an offer. I can help, Yusuf said. This train can be our classroom. Rohit laughed nervously, but agreed. The next day, Yusuf brought a thin storybook, simple English. Read aloud, he said. Rohit stumbled over words, mispronounced many, paused often. But Yusuf listened patiently, correcting him softly, encouraging him. By the time they reached their station, Rohit had read 2 pages. For the first time in years, he felt proud. Each evening they read on the train. Some days, they practiced speaking instead. Yusuf would ask simple questions. How was your day? What did you learn at work today? Rohit answered slowly, searching for words. Mistakes came, but Yusuf never laughed. He reminded him, you're speaking, and that's progress. After a few weeks, something changed. At work, when a teammate asked him a question in English, Rohit didn't freeze. He answered, short but clear. I finished the report. I will send now. His teammate nodded, impressed. Encouraged, Rohit started building a routine. He watched short English videos at night, wrote small summaries in a notebook, and practiced speaking to himself. Whenever he learned a new phrase, he tried using it the next day. His colleagues noticed. One of them, Priya, asked, You're improving fast. How? Rohit smiled shyly. Practice, every day, on train. One day I want to see your classroom, she laughed. Some days were harder. Words didn't come. Sentences felt stuck. He felt frustrated, doubting whether he would ever speak fluently. One evening, he told Yusuf, Maybe English not for me. Yusuf closed his book. Listen, he said. Do you think I learned without difficulty? I made mistakes every day, still do, but I didn't stop. You won't either. Those words became his fuel. Months passed. Their train booth became a small community. Others joined their practice. Students, a shopkeeper, an office clerk. They formed a circle in the train, speaking softly over the rumbling tracks. People reading newspapers smiled at them. Some even gave new words to practice. One evening, they played a game. Everyone had to tell a 2-minute story in English. When Rohit's turn came, he spoke about his childhood, fishing with his father, running in fields, dreaming under the night sky. His words weren't fancy, but his story was full of heart. When he finished, the group clapped. He felt something shift inside him. At work, his English grew more natural. He wrote clearer emails, spoke more in meetings, and even trained a new teammate. His manager noticed his progress and assigned him to assist with a client presentation. He felt nervous, but he said yes. He practiced every night, sometimes on the train, sometimes in his room. He recorded himself speaking, listened, improved. On presentation day, he stood before the client team. He introduced himself confidently, explained points clearly, and answered questions. When finished, his manager whispered, "Well done." That evening, he ran to catch the train, eager to tell Yusuf. But on his usual seat, Yusuf wasn't there. He waited. The next day, and the next, still no sign. Worried, he asked around. A regular commuter told him that Yusuf had moved to another city for higher studies. Rohit felt a mix of sadness and pride. He missed his friend, but he knew Yusuf had gone forward, just like he had helped Rohit do. The train felt quiet after that, but Rohit didn't stop practicing. He carried a book like Yusuf did. Soon, the people who once watched him became new learners. One day, a young girl boarded the train, holding an English workbook. She looked nervous. Rohit recognized the familiar spark in her eyes. "You like English books?" he asked. She hesitated. "I want to learn." "But it's difficult," Rohit smiled, the same smile he once received. "I can help," he said. "This train can be our classroom." And so, the journey continued. He realized that English was not something you learn once and finish. It was like the train, moving, growing, carrying new people and new stories every day. What once scared him had now become his strength. What once felt like a mountain now felt like a road. And every time he sat in that train, he remembered how a stranger turned into a guide, and how he became one for others. English, he learned, was not about perfect grammar or flawless speaking. It was about courage, connection, and consistency. It was about trying again every single day. And on that train, every evening, that lesson kept moving. The road between two languages. When Asha moved to the city, she carried only 2 things: her small backpack and a dream bigger than the crowded railway station she stepped into. She came from a quiet village where English was like a distant cloud. You could see it, admire it, but never touch. Her father, a school caretaker, always said, "If you know English, doors open." She did not fully understand it then, but by the time she arrived here, she was ready to knock on every door that life placed before her. Her new college campus looked like a place from another world. Tall buildings, loud voices, glowing screens, and students chatting in fast English. The first time she tried speaking, her tongue twisted. "Excuse me, where is classroom number 14? A group of students laughed. "Just say 14, not 1-4, one boy mockingly said. Asha stood quietly, heat rising in her cheeks. She walked away, holding her embarrassment like a heavy stone. That night, in her small hostel room, she whispered to herself, "I will learn. I will change. I will speak." So her journey began. Every morning before class, she sat under an old banyan tree inside the courtyard. In her hand, a notebook, her treasure. She wrote every new English word she heard. She watched YouTube videos of English learners, repeated sentences again and again, and listened to English stories before she slept. The world outside was loud and fast, but inside her notebook, everything felt safe. One afternoon, her English teacher, Miss Rebecca, announced an activity. Everyone must give a short introduction tomorrow, in English. Asha froze. She had never spoken English in front of a class. That night, she practiced in her room, standing in front of a mirror. My name is Asha. I come from Mithapur village. I like reading books. I want to improve my English simple sentences. Clean, small. But to her, it felt like climbing a mountain. When her turn came, her fingers trembled. A few students whispered. But she took a breath. My name is Asha. Slowly, each word found its place. When she finished, the class was silent. Not mocking, surprised. Miss Rebecca nodded. Good effort, Asha. You spoke clearly. Keep going. That small sentence from the teacher felt like a powerful push forward. For the first time, Asha felt that English was not a wall. It was a path. Vocabulary she noted that day 1. Effort, koshish 2. Surprised, heron 3. Whisper, puspasana 4. Journey, suffer 5. Improve, sudharna, soon. English began following her everywhere, on signboards, in music, in conversations. She realized learning English was not only in books, it was in the air. Asha made a plan. Listen to English 30 minutes daily. Learn 10 new words every day. Talk to at least one person in English. Read 1 page of a story daily, even if she mispronounced a word. She reminded herself, it is all right. Everyone learns. Sometimes, late at night, she wanted to cry. She felt stuck. She felt she was going too slowly. But then she remembered her father's words. Doors open. So she kept going. One day, at the cafeteria, she met a girl named Mira, friendly and confident. Mira looked at her notebook and smiled. You write new words? Good. Asha nodded shyly. Let's practice together, Mira said. From that day, they became partners. Asha spoke English with Mira, stumbling at every third word. But Mira always helped. No, not he do. Say he does. No, not I am agree. Say I agree. Each correction became a gift. Weeks passed. Months passed. Asha's English had grown like a young plant in the first rain. She began watching English movies with subtitles. She learned how words could bend and move. She learned that English was not just grammar. It was expression, emotion, feeling. Soon, when new students came to campus, she helped them find their classrooms. Her voice was still slow, but clear. Classroom 14. That way she smiled to herself when she remembered the boy who once made fun of her. One afternoon, Miss Rebecca entered class. Next week, there will be a speech competition, she announced. The room buzzed with excitement. Asha's heart started racing like a drum. Mira squeezed her hand. You should try. Asha shook her head. No, I'm not ready. You are ready, Mira insisted. That night, Asha sat under her banyan tree again. She remembered all the times she had struggled, all the words she had written, all the dreams she'd carried. I may not win, she whispered, but I want to try. She wrote her speech, greater than, English is not just a language. For many like me, it is hope, a bridge between where we are and where we want to go. She practiced again and again. She spoke in front of mirrors, doors, walls, shadows. Finally, the day arrived. Her legs trembled as she walked to the stage. The hall was silent. She looked at Mira. Mira smiled, and Asha began. "Good morning, everyone. My name is Asha." Her voice wavered, then grew stronger. "English is not my first language. I learned it slowly, with mistakes, with fear. Sometimes people laughed, but I did not stop." The audience listened, some nodding, some smiling. "English taught me that the most beautiful thing is not speaking perfectly, but speaking bravely." When she finished, the hall burst into applause. Mira hugged her. "You were amazing." Asha didn't win first prize, but she won courage. She won confidence. She won herself. Later, Miss Rebecca told her, "You remind us that learning is not about perfection. It's about progress." Those words became her treasure, more precious than anything else. Tips Asha learned. Practice. A little every day. Don't fear mistakes. Listen more than you speak. Speak slowly but confidently. Learn new vocabulary regularly. Watch English content. Read stories. Find a speaking partner. English was no longer a distant cloud. It had come down softly, like rain. And Asha stood with open palms. She was not just learning English. She was learning life. The silent bench. There was a small public garden behind Central Market, always crowded with tourists who spoke fast English. But among those trees and flowers, there was one silent wooden bench, and that bench changed Rohan's life. Rohan had been living in the city for 4 months. He worked at a stationery shop where customers often asked, "Do you have a 4 sheets? Where are the markers? How much is this folder?" At first, he understood only half of what they said. Sometimes he guessed, sometimes he asked again, but sometimes he just smiled blankly, wishing he could reply confidently. He finished school long ago, but English had remained like a closed window. He could see opportunities through it, but couldn't open it. Every evening after work, he walked to the garden and sat on the silent bench. There, he listened to tourists talking in English, trying to catch words, phrases, anything familiar. "This place is beautiful. Let's meet near the fountain. Have you tried the street food?" He repeated their words softly. Beautiful. Fountain. Tried. He did not know grammar much, but he believed. Language begins with listening. Little vocabulary, he learned one. Fountain, pavaras, or to the street food, sadak ka khana, and tourist, paryatak shwars. Confidently, Atmavishwas se 5, opportunity, avsar. One evening, an old foreigner sat beside him. Big round glasses, white beard, a small map in hand. "Excuse me," he said slowly. "Do you know where City Museum is?" Rohan's heart jumped. He knew the museum, but English. He gathered courage. "Straight, then right, near Big Gate," he said carefully. The old man smiled. "Thank you." Rohan felt proud. That one small conversation lit a fire inside him. From the next day, he made a rule. Learn 10 English words daily. Listen to English 20 minutes. Practice speaking aloud alone. He bought a small second-hand English storybook from the shop owner. The first page felt like a forest. So many new words. But he didn't stop. He underlined words, wrote meanings, used them in simple sentences. He carried a pocket notebook everywhere. One day at the shop, a customer asked, "Do you have a pack of colored pencils?" Rohan smiled confidently. "Yes, sir." Here, his boss watched silently. Later, he put a hand on Rohan's shoulder. "You are learning." "Good," he said. Those words were like sunshine. A few weeks later, at the garden, Rohan noticed a foreign girl struggling to buy peanuts from the vendor. She could not understand Hindi. Rohan stepped forward. "He is saying 20 rupees," Rohan translated. The girl smiled gratefully. "Thank you. I'm Anna. And you?" I am Rohan," he said. They sat on the silent bench. Anna was from Spain and was traveling alone. They talked slowly. "You learn English?" she asked. "Yes," Rohan replied shyly. "Good. We talk every evening. Good practice." Rohan couldn't believe it. A real speaking partner. In the same garden bench where he used to sit alone. From that day onward, both met daily. "Today word," Anna would say, "journey." Journey means travel. They built sentences together. "My journey is difficult. Your journey is beautiful. Our journey is learning." Sometimes they laughed at silly mistakes. One day, Rohan said, "I am go market." Anna corrected gently, not "I am go." Say "I am going," or just "I go." Every mistake was a step forward. Rohan felt no fear speaking in front of her. More words, he learned 6, journey, suffer 7, mistake, galati 8, practice, abhyas 9, travel, yatra 10, difficult, katin. Rohan realized something beautiful. English was not about perfection. It was about courage. Even if he said a sentence wrong, the world did not break. Instead, the world opened a little more. He started to listen to English podcasts at night. He learned pronunciation by pausing and repeating. He spoke with customers more confidently, sometimes slowly but clearly. His boss began sending him to handle tourist customers. "Rohan speaks good English," he would say proudly. Days turned to weeks. Weeks turned to months. One evening, the garden looked different, decorated with colorful lights. There was a small event. "Share your story," in English. Anyone could speak. Anna poked his arm. "You speak tonight." Rohan shook his head. "No, I can't." "Yes, you can," she insisted. At first his heart said no, but his notebook, his silent bench, his journey said yes. He walked to the small stage, microphone in front, people watching. He took a deep breath. "My name is Rohan," he began. "I work in a stationery shop. Before, I scared English. I think English is mountain people listened. I listen every day. I learn words. I speak with friend. Slowly, slowly, I learn." Anna smiled with pride. "I'm not perfect, but I speak. I speak because I want grow." He raised his notebook. "This notebook is my friend. It has all words and all mistakes. Both help me." The audience clapped. Rohan continued confidently. "I learned English, not only language. English is courage. If you speak, you grow. If you try, you change." When he finished, people cheered loudly. The organizer walked up. "You spoke from your heart," he said. "That is real English." Rohan's eyes shined. Next day at the shop, something unexpected happened. A customer came and asked, "Do you speak English?" Rohan nodded confidently. "Yes, sir. How can I help you?" The customer smiled. "We are opening a new branch. We need someone to manage customers, someone who can speak English. Are you interested?" Rohan stood silent for a moment. His whole journey flashed. The silent bench, the old foreigner, Anna, the notebook, his mistakes, his efforts. "Yes, sir," he said. "I am interested." The customer took his number. "We will call you soon." Rohan could not believe it. His English, the language he once feared, had brought him a new opportunity. That evening, he ran to the garden to tell Anna, but she wasn't there. He waited for hours. Still no sign. Next day, no Anna. The bench was silent again. On the third day, a tourist gave him a note. "Dear Rohan, Tomorrow I leave for Spain. Thank you for being my friend. You helped me learn Hindi, and I helped you learn English. Remember? Keep speaking. Keep growing. Your journey is beautiful. Anna. Tears filled his eyes. He placed the note in his notebook. He sat on the silent bench, but this time he was not alone. He had English with him. He had courage with him. He had his journey with him. He looked up at the sky. Thank you, he whispered. And then, slowly, he began reading new English words aloud. The silent bench had taught him the loudest lesson. Languages grow where courage lives. Tips. Rohan followed. Listen daily. Learn new vocabulary. Practice speaking. Don't fear mistakes. Read simple books. Talk to people. Stay consistent.